to yourself, I'm sure you asked the question very jocularly because it really doesn't add up. Now, like Festus said, you cited one example of APC people saying they must vote APC in Lagos. We also have tons of videos showing Labour Party scaring away voters all over the southeast. In fact, at our last press conference, we showcased a woman, an APC member, a candidate for the House of Representatives in Anambra, in Anambra State, whose house property was burnt down completely by irate Labour people.
Did you see that in Lagos?
Prevented her from voting, drove her family out, and burnt down her property. We showcased her at our press conference, and she spoke to the press herself.
That happened in Lagos.
Did you ever hear that happening in Lagos? But it happened in Anambra State, and all over, and in Ebonyi.
Exactly.
All over, and Imo, all over the southeastern state. And now, let us even forget all of that. Because of these preconceived ideas, they refuse to acknowledge the decency and the credibility of the Nigerian presidential election process and result, and went on to write negative reports based on their own prejudices and biases. But the truth of the matter is that whoever sat down to properly and logically analyze not just the results, but the process itself, will discover that this has been, like I said earlier on, the freest and fairest election in Nigeria since 1999, second only to the June 12th of 1993. And why? Because if Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu will rig any election, common sense will dictate that charity must begin at home. He should have rigged Lagos for himself. It's not logical to think that you will leave your own bastion and go and rig elsewhere. Now, Lagos has arguably, if not the largest voting population in Nigeria. About 7 million. So how would any politician leave such a large voting population and then go and rig in a smaller voting population? It does not add up. Now, Bola Ahmed Tinubu has held sway in Nigeria's political firmament, particularly in Lagos, in the last 24 years, and has never lost an election in the 23 of the 24 years. But he lost it in this one. And yet you say he has rigged. And he could not successfully rig himself in his own bastion, in his own power base. And the sitting president lost his own home base of Katsina State. And he could not use the extensive coercive agencies under his command and control to rig his own party into victory in his own home state. Does that add up? And APC sitting governors, at least 10 of them, 10 APC sitting governors lost their home states to the opposition. And you still say the election is flawed. That is the height of illogicality. Gentlemen of the press, nothing could be further from the truth. That's why we say this has been the freest and fairest election.
Beavers was principally brought in by the regulations of INEC to capture and verify the voters. It replaced the manual accreditation by the old register. So the register has been done away with by beavers. So instead of the old manual register, it is the beavers that accredits the voters. That did not fail. So we should not mix all of these up when we are making our reports. Beavers did not fail because essentially Beavers was still used to accredit voters. What they are complaining about is not the failure of Beavers in accreditation of voters. It is automatic transmission. And I use the word advisedly, automatic. Not that it was not finally uploaded. It was finally uploaded. It's the automatic transmission. Now, the provisions of our Electoral Act, which guides the conduct of elections, does not provide for automatic transmission by Beavers. I am sorry, it does not. The law itself, Electoral Act, the Electoral Act still provides for step-by-step collation of election results. In fact, Section 70 of the Electoral Act, go and look at it, says that step-by-step recording of polls in terms of entering it in the forms and transmitting it from one level to the other, from unit to ward to local government, shall be provided by the rules shall be provided by INEC. How do you record it? And that is essentially what the law still says. Go and look at from Section 60 or thereabout, or for something to 70, that provides the step-by-step collation of results. Now, this issue of transmission, automatic transmission, is a directive contained in the guidelines of INEC, not the Electoral Act. And that is the Section 38 they are quoting for you. Section 38, ingeniously, people have been saying that Section 38 of the Electoral Act. Go and look at the Electoral Act. Section 38 has nothing to do with transmission. It is the directive of INEC contained in the manual. What does the law say about directives? Go and look at Section 134, subsection 2 of the Electoral Act. I am directing you to Section 134, subsection 2. It says, an act or omission which may be contrary to an instruction or directive of the commission, but not contrary to the provisions of this act, shall not be a ground for questioning the outcome of an election. That is not a ground to question the